Discover New York City, the richest city in the world. New York City, often simply called New York, is the most populous city in the United States, with an estimated 2019 population of 8,336,817, distributed over about 302.6 square miles. New York City is also the most densely populated major city in the United States. Located at the southern tip of the state of New York, the city is the center of the New York metropolitan area, the largest metropolitan area in the world by urban landmass. With almost 20 million people in its metropolitan statistical area and approximately 23 million in its combined statistical area, it is one of the world's most populous megacities. New York City has been described as the cultural, financial, and media capital of the world, significantly influencing commerce, entertainment, research, technology, education, politics, tourism, art, fashion, and sports, and is the most photographed city in the world. Home to the headquarters of the United Nations, New York is an important center for international diplomacy and has sometimes been called the capital of the world. Situated on one of the world's largest natural harbors, New York City is composed of 5 boroughs, each of which is a county of the new state of New York. The 5 boroughs, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, the Bronx, and the Staten Islands, were created when local governments were consolidated into a single city in 1898. The city and its metropolitan area constitute the premier gateway for legal immigration to the United States. As many as 800 languages are spoken in New York, making it the most linguistically diverse city in the world. New York is home to more than 3.2 million residents born outside the United States, the largest foreign-born population of any city in the world as of 2016. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on post notification so you don't get to miss out on any of our subsequent videos. New York City traces its origins and roots to a trading post founded on the southern tip of Manhattan Island by Dutch colonists in 1624. The settlement was named New Amsterdam in 1626 and was chartered as a city in 1653. The city name under English control in 1664 and was renamed New York after King Charles II of England granted the lands to his brother, the Duke of York. The city was regained by the Dutch in July 1673 and was renamed New Orange for 1 year and 3 months. The city was being continuously named New York since November 1674. New York City was the capital of the United States from 1785 until 1790 and has been the largest US city since 1790. The Statue of Liberty greeted millions of immigrants as they came to the US by ship in the late 19th and 20th centuries, and it is a symbol of the US and its ideals of liberty and peace. In the 21st century, New York has emerged as a global mode of creativity, entrepreneurship, and environmental sustainability, and as a symbol of freedom and cultural diversity. In 2019, New York was voted the greatest city in the world per a survey of over 30,000 people from 48 cities worldwide, citing its cultural diversity. New York City is situated in the northeastern United States, in southeastern New York State, approximately halfway between Washington, D.C. and Boston. The location at the mouth of the Hudson River, which feeds into a naturally sheltered harbor and then into the Atlantic Ocean, has helped the city grow in significance as a trading port. Most of New York City is built on the 3 islands of Long Island, Manhattan, and Staten Island. The city's land has been altered substantially by human intervention, with considerable land reclamation along the waterfront since Dutch colonial times. Reclamation is mostly prominent in Lower Manhattan, with developments such as Battery Park City in the 1970s and 1980s. Some of the natural relief in topography has been evened out, especially in Manhattan. New York has architecturally noteworthy buildings in a wide range of styles and from distinct time periods, from the Dutch colonial Pieter Claesen Wyckoff House in Brooklyn, the oldest section of which dates to 1656, to the modern One World Trade Center. The skyscraper at Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan and the most expensive office tower in the world by construction cost. Manhattan skyline, with its many skyscrapers, is universally recognized, and the city has been home to several of the tallest buildings in the world. As of 2019, New York City had 6,455 high-rise buildings, the third most in the world after Hong Kong and Seoul. Under the Köppen climate classification using the 0 degrees Celsius isotherm, New York City features a humid subtropical climate and is thus the northernmost major city on the North American continent with this categorization. The suburbs to the immediate north and west lie in the transitional zone between humid subtropical and humid continental climates. By the 3-water classification, the city is defined as having an oceanic climate. Annually, the city averages 234 days with at least some sunshine. The city lies in the USDA 7B plant hardiness zone. The city of New York has a complex park system with various lands operated by the National Park Service, the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation and Historic Preservation, and the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation. In its 2018 Park Score ranking, Its trust for public land reported that the park system in the New York City was the 9th best park system among the 50 most populous US cities. Park Scores ranks urban park systems by a formula that analyzes median park size, park acres as percent of city area, the percent of city residents within a half mile of a park, spending of a park services per resident, and the number of playgrounds per 10,000 residents. Brooklyn is home to Fort Hamilton, the US military's only active duty installation within the New York City. Aside from Coast Guard operations, the facility was established in 1825 on the site of a small battery utilized during the American Revolution, and it is one of America's longest-serving military forts. Today, Fort Hamilton serves as the headquarters of the North Atlantic Division of the United States Army Corps of Engineers and for the New York City Recruiting Battalion. It also houses the 1179th Transportation Brigade, the 722nd Aeromedical Staging Squadron, and a military entrance procession station. Other formerly active military reservations to utilize for National Guard and military training or reserve operations in the city include Fort Wadsworth in Staten Island and the Fort Thornton in Queens. The New York metropolitan area is home to a prominent self-identifying gay and bisexual community, estimated at nearly 570,000 individuals, the largest in the United States and one of the world's largest. Same-sex marriages were legalized in New York on June 24, 2011 and were authorized to take place beginning 30 days thereafter. Charles Kaiser, author of The Gay Metropolis, The Landmark History of Gay Life in America, wrote that in the era after World War II, New York City became the literal gay metropolis for hundreds of thousands of immigrants from within and without the United States, the place they choose to learn how to live openly, honestly, and without shame. New York City, like other larger cities, has a high degree of income disparity, as indicated by its Gini coefficient of 0.55 as of 2017. In the first quarter of 2014, the average weekly wage in New York City County, Manhattan, was $2,749, representing the highest total amongst large counties in the United States. As of 2017, New York City was home to the highest number of billionaires of any city in the world at 103 billionaires, including former Mayor Michael Bloomberg. New York also had the highest density of millionaires per capita among the major US cities in 2014 at 4.6% of residents. New York City is one of the relatively few American cities levying on income tax, about 3% of its residents. As of 2018, there were, however, 78,676 homeless people in New York City. New York City is a global hub of business and commerce as a center for banking and finance, retailing, world trade, transportation, tourism, real estate, new media, traditional media, advertising, legal services, accountancy, insurance, theater, fashion, and the arts in the United States, while Silicon Valley, metonymous for New York's broad-spectrum high technology sphere, continues to expand. Many Fortune 500 corporations are headquartered in New York City, as are a larger number of multinational corporations, one of the 10 private sector jobs in the city within a foreign company. New York City has been ranked first among cities across the globe in attracting capital, business, and tourism. New York City's role as a top global center for the advertising industry is metonymously reflected as Madison Avenue. The city's fashion industry provides approximately 180,000 employees with $11 billion in annual wages. Other important sectors include medical research and technology, non-profit institutions and universities. Manufacturing accounts for significant but declining share of employment. The city's apparel and garment industry, historically centered on the Garments District in Manhattan, peaked in 1950, when more than 323,000 workers were employed in the industry in New York. In 2015, fewer than 23,000 New York City residents were employed in the manufacture of garments, accessories, and finished textiles, although efforts to revive the industry were underway. Food processing is a $5 billion industry that employs more than 19,000 residents. Chocolate is New York City's leading specialty food export, with up to $234 million worth of exports each year. Entrepreneurs were forming a chocolate district in Brooklyn as of 2014, while Godiva, one of the world's largest chocolatiers, continues to be headquartered in Manhattan. Real estate is a major force in the city's economy, as the total value of all New York City property was assessed at $1.072 trillion for the 2017 fiscal year, an increase of 10.6% from the previous year, with 89% of the increase coming from market effects. Tourism is a vital industry for New York City, which has witnessed a growing combined volume of international and domestic tourists, receiving an 8th consecutive annual record of approximately 62.8 million visitors in 2017. Major tourist destinations in Manhattan include Times Square, Broadway theater productions, the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, the United Nations headquarters, the World Trade Center, including the National September 11 Museum, and the World Trade Center. museums such as the Metropolitan Museum of Art, green space such as Central Park and Washington Square Park, the Stonewall Inn, Rockefeller Center, ethnic enclaves including the Manhattan Chinatown, Koreatown, Kerry Hill, Harlem, Spanish Harlem, Little Italy, and Little Australia, luxury shopping along 5th and Madison Avenues. New York City has been described as the media capital of the world. The city is a prominent location for the American entertainment industry, with many films, television series, books, and other media being set there. New York City is home to the headquarters of the National Football League, Major League Baseball, the National Basketball Association, the National Hockey League, the Major League Soccer. The city has played host to more than 40 major professional teams in the 5 sports and their respective competitive leagues. 4 of the 10 most expensive stadiums ever built worldwide, MetLife Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium, Madison Square Garden, and Citi Field, are located in the New York metropolitan area. New York City has focused on reducing its environmental impact and carbon footprint. Mass transit use in New York City is the highest in the United States. Also, by 2010, the city had 3,715 hybrid taxis and other clean diesel vehicles, representing around 28% of New York's taxis fleet in service, the most of any city in North America. New York City is the host of Climate Week NYC, the largest climate week to take place globally and regarded as major annual climate summit. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section below, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you don't get to miss out on any of our subsequent videos.